Well, Miles, it's good to see you. It's been a few months since we've got you on camera and sat down and just a general catch-up about the women's team, and obviously with a couple of weeks ago to the new season, we thought now was the best opportunity to do that. So first things first, just how has the whole summer been? Obviously we're going to go into a bit more detail later, but how has the last few months been from a women's perspective?
Yeah, positive. Making steps forward, which is important. When you enter a new league, when you enter a higher league, you have to try and make things better within the programme, and the past 6, 8, 10 weeks the team have been working hard behind the scenes to try and make sure that we've got things in place that can hopefully give us success this season. And
just looking at that in a deeper level, obviously changing, successful teams always evolve and things happen very quickly, but let's talk about your staffing first. Obviously, a couple of key departures to your coaching department over the summer.
Yeah, obviously, Giuseppe has moved on from the club over summer, and Carl obviously moved into a new role. So, two staff that played a real significant part in the achievements that we got last season, and I thank them wholeheartedly for that. Carl's obviously now remaining at the club and stays and will oversee the pathway and the B team, the newly formed B team of the women's. Listen, there's already some great players in that setup. We had a player yesterday that stepped up, and there's lots of potential there that he's looking after. But obviously, with that, new faces come in, and we're looking to bring new faces in, and as you said, try and bring together a team, both players and staff, that can give us the best chance of success.
But on the same point, you've still got key staff members there. Obviously, Tom, Ash, Owen, those people are still going to be big parts for your coaching department this season.
Yeah, huge. We're really lucky. We're fortunate. Those three have been superb. We've managed to keep wider staff in place as well. People like Sally, is the nutritionist. People like Catherine and Eleanor and Jake and yourself leading the comms department. So we're really fortunate. We have a fantastic team around us. But into day-to-day football, yeah, Ash, Tom, and Owen will manage to keep them in place, and they've been superb since we started back.
And on a player perspective as well, obviously there's been a bit of change as well. You've kept a core group that you had from last season. Obviously some have left the club, there's some have transitioned into obviously the B team. Just give us a bit of an overview of your thinking behind all of that.
Yeah, look, obviously we had a big squad last season. I think we had a squad of 27 in total. And year upon year as you go and we keep developing, it requires a different player. It requires sometimes there's an overhaul that's needed to be had in the summer, and as a group of staff we sat down and realised that that's what was needed to do this year. So we moved a few players that we thought the B team was going to be a better environment for them this season, and there's a few players that we didn't think was a right fit for the club. For one reason or another. So, I think there was 15 players or so that have stepped away from the first team, and that now means that we've had a big recruitment job to do in terms of bringing players in. Obviously, we've announced a few already, and there's more faces that are coming in. So, look, every year, as I said, we want to keep developing and pushing this women's team forward, and unfortunately, that means that year upon year, faces have to go and new faces come in, but we have to do that to make sure that we're keeping up to pace with the challenge that we're going to face.
And just touching on the recruitment you've just discussed, obviously you brought some players in terms of Annabelle returned on a permanent basis after dual registration last year, Abby Brown, Lucy Walsh, Tash Dale. I mean, the quality of player now that you're bringing in must really excite you.
Yeah, it definitely does, and hopefully it's exciting the fans as well. All the announcements that have been made, it seems to have a good reaction, and it seems like the fans are excited to see them, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? The players can do a fantastic job for us, and that's why we brought them here. They're great people as well. But look, we're still working hard on the recruitment front. There's still players that we want to bring in. There's players that we've highlighted and players that the club are working towards trying to bring them in. And we're delighted to secure the ones we have already, but we're also equally delighted to secure the ones that were here last season as well. Every player that we offered a first team place to last season, thankfully, agreed it. We've got some amazing people in the group already, so we keep adding to that. And as we say, by the time that we come to the first game of the season, hopefully all the business is done and we can kick on.
But how difficult, with recruitment still ongoing, how difficult has that been in terms of a pre-season? Because obviously there's still a number of players you probably want to bring into the group. So in terms of the pre-season, the fixtures and almost embedding the new players into the group that you carried through. Has that been a difficult thing to do?
Yeah, I think it always is. I think you've got, first of all, you've got the new faces that come in and take time to bed in, take time to get their confidence, to know what this environment's all about, to understand what this club's values are and what we work for, and what's important to us and what's important to the fans. But then also you have players coming in and out almost on a weekly basis. We've had really, players coming in, coming to do a couple of sessions, seeing if it's the right fit, and then a new face comes in. So it does add that little bit of complexity. But I must say the current team that we have in place have been superb. They've been superb with the understanding of players coming in and out and the patience of it. And as I said, we're lucky that we've got a good group that are welcoming and ultimately just want this team to do well. And if that means adding some new faces and adding the right faces, then that's all that we care about. And
how has pre-season been in general in terms of results? You've faced different levels of opposition, and how has it been on the training field as well?
Yeah, it's been a different one for me, to be honest. At this level, you still have players that sometimes are away at this time of year, and you have to work with that. But overall, it's been, by the time we come to 2 weeks' time, first game of the season would be in a good place. We've had a couple of pre-season games where we've seen some great pictures of what we've been working on. Obviously, we wanted to challenge ourselves a little bit in the fixtures as well that we've played, and we've managed to do that. We wanted to give ourselves a bit of insight as to what's to come in this league. Hence, we wanted to play the game against Wythenshawe that we played, and we learned a lot from that. We learned a lot from that game. But I think overall the pleasing thing has been that the girls have been working super hard. The team have been working hard. We look in a good place. Some of the stuff that we want to happen in terms of the pictures coming out, the relationships are starting to build. The atmosphere's great around camp, and we've got one more pre-season game and then the first game of the season. So 2 more weeks of prep, and that's what it's all about. It's not about winning games in pre-season. It's not about winning them, losing them. It's about focusing on the things that are important, focusing on the things that will get us ready for August the 17th. And in that aspect, it's been pleasing. And
you've spoke about evolving the first team squad, but in general, the women's programme as well. Obviously, the news was confirmed last week that our home for the season will be at Victory Park with Charlie. Just from a club perspective, just talk us through the thinking in that, and obviously discuss about Overton College as well and what they gave to us last year as well.
Yeah, I think it shows that it's not all just about the things that happen on the pitch. The club are working super hard behind the scenes to make sure that we continue to progress. We can't just progress by the on-field stuff. It's everything off-field as well, and that means that we have to build this women's programme. And there's so many people throughout the whole club operations that are working hard to secure us fantastic venues, like Chorley as an example, to secure us great partnerships. And as you said, as we continue to develop, we want to continue to develop all areas of the programme, not just the players, not just the staff, and not just the football. Atherton Collieries last season, I've said it a few times, that was absolutely amazing to us. I honestly can't thank them enough. And if it weren't for them, if it weren't for that partnership, how open they were with us, how welcoming they were, everything they did for us down there every weekend. We may not have got the success that we did, so we owe them huge amounts of appreciation. But no, as we said about some players and changes that need to be made, we thought that we wanted to make a change with our home venue. And we decided to do that, and now we're really looking forward to continuing to build a great relationship that we already have with Chorley as a football club. And then, as you mentioned, equally as important to developing the team and developing the things that happen on pitch, we have to make sure that if this women's team is to be successful and sustainable, we have to develop everything operationally as well. And over the summer, we've been fortunate. We've had a few new sponsors come on board. Stanmore Insurance have joined us. Frankincense have supported and joined the women's team this year. And we've been lucky enough to keep the sponsors we've already had in Bernstein's Kitchens, Domis and White's as well. So without all of that support and without all of the amazing team off the field that work really hard from an operational aspect to make sure that this women's team can continue to be successful. We don't want to be successful for 1 season or 2. This women's team, the ambition is to be successful for many years to come. And that means that all these things off the field are super important. And it makes sure that we as a women's team, we continue to grow, we continue to develop. It gives the players the best chance on the field as well to be successful. And then, whilst we go through those levels, hopefully, we make it sustainable at the same time. And without this support from everybody and without the hard work from all the people in the offices around the club that are working on the women's team from an operational standpoint, that wouldn't be possible. So we owe a massive amount of thank you and credit to those people.
And it's a good message as well, obviously, when you're recruiting, but to the group you've already got, that the club is committed to this women's programme. And look, you're not resting on your laurels almost. You want to keep developing. You want this programme to keep evolving, as we keep saying, and just continuing to grow.
Yeah, 100%. The programme that we offer is, we're super proud of what we've built in 12 months' time. And it's not just about the training or what goes on at the training ground. It's about everything else that if you are a Bolton player, you have the benefit from. And there's so many people that are working hard behind the scenes to make sure that this programme is developing. Even if you look at last season to this season, we've made a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes and a lot of progressions that we've made to ultimately give the team the best chance of success, but also to make sure that when they're here, they're enjoying their time here. They feel part of a family. They feel part of this Bolton family that we have. And we give them, as I said, the best chance of success on the field, but we also give them a big smile on the face whilst they're doing that as well.
So 2 weeks to go. Obviously a new step up into Tier 5 for us. Just how are you looking at this year and what lies ahead for Bolton Wanderers women?
Yeah, 2 weeks left. 2 weeks worth of prep where we're going to have to keep working hard as a group. These 2 weeks, although it's close, we still have a lot of work to do, and the team know that. And then obviously we hit 5 games in 15 days, I think it is. So the game's going to come at us thick and fast. We've got a tough start to the season, based on the league table last season and based on the recruitment that I've seen from clubs. So we go on the 17th of August, and we're going to put it into different phases. We're going to take that phase 1, the first 5 games. But ultimately, the ambition of this club is to win. We're here when you wear this kit, whether it's a player, whether it's a staff member, you want to win. You have to win for these fans. You want to win for this football club. So every time that we go out onto that field, the team are aware already from last season, and the new faces are becoming aware that when you walk out on that pitch, you do everything you can to win a football game, and we'll try and win as many as we can, and ultimately see where we're at come end of the season.